there's been a lot of talk on the issue of how to possibly alter an AR-15 to be what some have thought of California compliant, but what about Illinois compliant? We hope to talk with Law Weapons owner Robert Beavis in the near future. Best of luck to him in his endeavors, of course, in just life in general, but he's one of the plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the city of Naperville and the state of Illinois. And he has an idea that he's been circulating about a bolt that will change an AR-15 from a semi-automatic into a bolt-action rifle. But some of that's being panned by critics online, so we hope to connect with Mr. Beavis in the future to get his response to some of this. And just to touch briefly here in a short segment, because really, when it comes to the gun issue, there have been no major developments on cases in Illinois about the litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban. We reviewed that quite a bit yesterday, so if you missed those videos, be sure to check them out, because we'll keep you posted step by step. Still no action in the Southern District Court, where we await the December 12th public hearing for oral arguments of trying to halt the January 1st deadline for the gun registry. We've seen those numbers of people registering firearms, and it's just about 0.17% of firearm owners' ID card holders who have registered. And again, that's of the 2.4 million, only about 4,000 have registered a banned weapon. So the case in the Southern District still waiting on the oral arguments on that. We'll cover that when it happens December 12th. But also in the U.S. Supreme Court, you've got December 14th being the date that the state has to reply to Dan Calkins in his case alleging conflict of interest from two Illinois Supreme Court justices who in August they went different ways but still wanted to see a gun and magazine ban. You had them getting $1 million from Governor J.B. Pritzker. So that's being challenged in the U.S. Supreme Court after the Illinois Supreme Court had their ruling against Calkins back in August. So again, no major movement on the gun and magazine bans, but you do have some filings back and forth, including the Naperville case with Law Weapons, having asked the Seventh Circuit for a preliminary injunction while they get an en banc, possibly to the U.S. Supreme Court. The three-judge panel denied that. We covered that yesterday. But obviously, that could mean the next step is to the U.S. Supreme Court, so we'll be watching that case as well. So again, all these different cases, different trajectories. We'll do what we can to keep track of that, but just doing a review of the case status, not much movement yesterday on any of that. But again, back to the issue that Law Weapons has brought forward. You've seen this posted elsewhere. And it's kind of interesting. We talked about it briefly yesterday about this idea of changing an AR-15 from a semi-automatic into a bolt action, and would that actually work? And you've seen some people, ask questions about this. Go to the X space, the Twitter sphere, so to speak, and you can see some people just panning the idea. Washington Gun Law, a popular YouTube channel, covers the Second Amendment. Talked about is there a legal workaround, and people are pointing out, saying no, you don't want to convert your AR-15 into a bolt action. Number one, some people arguing that isn't a legal workaround because the AR platform is readily convertible to semi-automatic, even if it was bolt action. But what defines readily convertible? Who knows? What about all of the different types of attachments there are on AR-15s? If you are still in possession of those, you could possibly face the letter of the law. So obviously some questions there as to whether or not changing the bolt of an AR-15 platform could get underneath the law of what legislators defined as a assault weapon with the gun and magazine ban in the state of Illinois. But also, others on Twitter raising issue. President Non-FUD says, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this does nothing to protect your AR, not to mention the things like the pistol grip and upper and hand guards that would be needed to be registered via the attachment affidavit. So you can see here our lower receivers on the registered list. Yes, receivers designed or intended to convert a firearm into an assault weapon are prohibited. And again, that's asking the question, or at least raising concern about asking the question if you can change the bolt that Washington Gun Law and others have raised on various channels. So, again, I just wanted to kind of just highlight that briefly. I hope to talk with Mr. Beavis in the very near future about his idea here. And even in the comments here on this channel, there have been people who've been raising questions about whether this is a legitimate approach. I would encourage people to talk to their attorneys and definitely make it something that you're up to date on, and as far as just exactly what such a move could or could not do to your legal liabilities. And I'm checking something else out here really quick. Yeah, and even Gun Save Life just posted an article about this, saying that the law Bolt 15 doesn't change an AR-15 into anything but a malfunctioning AR-15. So John Bach highlighting how, I'll just read some of this, says Robert Beavis came up with an interesting idea that he thought might exempt rifles from gun registration in Illinois. At first blush, we thought it was a great idea. However, at Gun Save Life, we get readers from all corners of the firearm world. At least one subject matter expert talked with me Monday evening, explaining the law Bolt 15 would leave owners with very real potential of getting hit with a felony charge. Why? Because it does nothing to convert the form and function of the lower receiver, which the ATF considers the firearm. So again, talk with your attorney, obviously, but these are things that we got to delve deeper into. We've got a little over a month before the January 1st deadline for people to register not just semi-automatic firearms, but attachments and even 50 caliber ammunition. So while the legal side of this continues to play out with whether or not there's going to be an injunction imposed on the January 1st deadline from the Southern District case that the federal firearms licensees of Illinois have, that's still up in the air. But regardless, in between now and then, you may hear or see a lot of headlines or a lot of speculation. I would encourage you to talk with your attorney and make sure that you are fully abreast of the law and how best to comply with the law in the state of Illinois. So we'll continue to track this and delve into all of the various facets of these arguments and more. So definitely stay tuned with Bishop on Air, okay? It is right here, YouTube. You can follow, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to support the program. Go find some merchandise. You can do that as well. All right, stay tuned. Tons more coming up here with Bishop on